Hi everyone, I'm Chef Dennis and welcome to Around the Kitchen Table with my co-host Susan Serra. How you doing, Susan?
I'm doing great. I'm really looking forward to this this show today that we're doing. There's endless possibilities, and you know, who doesn't love a good salad? So how about you? How you doing?
Pretty good. The evenings are cooling off here. Summer's starting to leave us. The days are still mighty hot. Like today, we were out there and it was just baking. But the mornings are a little cooler, and then the evenings are turning into very comfortable. So we're getting ready, I think, for the really good reason. You know, the reason we did move to Florida for this beautiful weather. But
which is 70 degrees in the winter, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I may have to turn the heat up in January and February when it hits 55.
Unbelievable. Yeah, no, we're getting a little, chilly here too. And you may remember from Philly, it is now really good sleeping weather.
The best.
Yep.
This was my favorite time, and that's the one thing I really, really will miss about being up there is those crisp October evenings. You know, when it's dark and the stars are out and you need a sweater or something. Those were my favorite times. So.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and pretty soon we'll have the fireplace going.
There you go. Not here.
Yeah.
We have a fire pit outside, but no fireplace in Florida. Although I have seen people that have them. It's kind of crazy. But.
Yeah, I mean, that's something you should be able to cook around, right?
Yeah, yeah.
A few things anyway.
Just to sit outside and have some wine and enjoy the stars, because it is just spectacular here at night.
Yeah, I bet. So you have such a spread in front of you, and I see some kind of liquid too. So what's going on there?
Well, that's oil. So what we're going to do is I'm going to start with showing you how to make a very simple, very tasty salad dressing where you're controlling all the ingredients. There's nothing in it that you can't pronounce. It'll hold up. You know, it doesn't have all the preservatives, but it'll actually hold up in your refrigerator for about 30 days. You know, I don't taste it would last that long, but it really will, stay in their refrigerator. The one problem we have with it sometimes is it solidifies because there aren't any stabilizers in it. There isn't anything in it to keep it from tightening up too much. But if that happens, you just let it sit out. Remember to take it out, half an hour before dinner and let it thaw just a little bit so you can mix it up again. Just throw a whip through it.
That's great. That's great. I'm going to have lots of questions for you. So,
okay. Well, let's start then. And let me change the camera over to the mixer. And what I have here is in the mixer bowl, you can see already, I have some mustard, some dark mustard, and I have some honey in here. And this is the basis for my dressing. And it's a honey Dijon. I don't really use straight Dijon mustard. You can, but I kind of like a stone ground mustard. So something in a brown range, just even like a Gouldens brown or a French's brown. Doesn't have to be real expensive. Just have that seedy mustard kind of flavor, that the stone ground ones do. So this is my emulsifier. And if this is done right, and even I have some trouble every now and then with getting it to thicken up properly. But if it's done right, this honey and this mustard will act as a thickener as I'm putting the oil in, and it'll help bind it.
Okay, so how much how much of each? How much honey? How much mustard? About?
I have 2 tablespoons of each in here right now, and I do have
equal parts. Would you say?
Equal parts.
Okay.
Equal parts of honey and mustard, and I do have a recipe up. That I brought down in size, because this is something I used to make everywhere I've been. It's been a house dressing, even at the school, and everyone loved it. They'd come out, "Where's the house dressing? You're out." I said, "Yeah, I got to make it." But at the restaurant, every day I went in. Even when we were slow, I would make 5 gallons of this every day.
You know what? It sounds like it satisfies that sort of sweet and salty or sweet. Everyone loves that. I love that.
Yes, it's not so much salty, but it's got that little vinegar bite.
Right.
Sweetness to it, and it works really well on a variety of different kinds of salads. So it is a really nice, and it's good in pasta salad too. So it really is a nice dressing to make, and it's pretty simple. The only problem, like I said, every now and then is it will break, and what happens when it breaks is it just gets ugly, and you just need to run a whip through it, just like you would have a separated dressing. But hopefully this will thicken up. So I have my Dijon, my mustard and my honey in here, and now I'm going to put in some finely chopped onion and a little bit of finely chopped garlic.
Now, what about, that's interesting you say onion and garlic. Can you just split the difference and put shallots instead?
Sure, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
If you like shallots, that's not a problem at all. And if you don't like garlic, that you can leave that out too. So I'm just going to whip this up a little bit. And then what I'm going to start doing is I'm going to start adding, and this is just vegetable oil. I would not use extra virgin olive oil. And I would not use it for one very important reason, is because it has that strong flavor, and you don't want it to be the focus of this dressing. You want the flavors and the freshness and everything else going on to be the focus. I've used straight extra virgin, and I'm really not happy with it. It actually does something to the mustard. It brings out like a bitterness in the mustard to me.
So what what are you using then?
I'm using a good vegetable oil. You can also use, for years I used blended oil. And when I say blended, it would be 90% vegetable, 10% olive oil. And it gave it that little bit of nutty flavor from the olive oil without giving it too much flavor. So, for a salad dressing, if you're going to just use oil and vinegar, then of course use extra virgin olive oil. But when you're making a salad dressing, I don't really think there's any reason to use it. It just really doesn't do it.
So it serves the function solely as a sort of an element, a foundation to the just a binder, an element.
Mm-hmm. Well, the binder is the mustard and the honey.
Yep.
And the oil is the body. So I'm going to start
the body.
And I'm going to get this going, so it might be a little loud. But
okay, that's okay. You can turn the mic off if you want.
All right, if you have anything you'd like to talk about, go ahead. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to drizzle this in very slowly. So I'll turn the camera over to you and do this.
Okay. All right, so I don't have images of salads, but you know what? I'm sure we all have our favorite salad dressings, and please comment after the fact on the stream and share your favorite salad dressings too. When I was in France, both times, I've only been there twice, but the classic mustard vinaigrette is something that I just absolutely love, and it's so simple. I'm trying to find the perfect mustard vinaigrette. And I think I'll actually talk to Chef about that. I've looked for a lot of recipes, and there's minor variations with a lot of them. One of the best recipes for vinaigrette, actually, it's not a mustard vinaigrette, but I suppose I could add a little mustard to it, is by Pierre Fernet. And that had in it a red wine vinegar. It had a garlic clove. It had, of course, I think it was olive oil, or maybe it wasn't olive oil. I'm not sure, but you can look it up. Vinaigrette Pierre Fernet, and of course, blue cheese. Being Scandinavian, blue cheese is a huge favorite of mine. A blue cheese dressing, a good blue cheese dressing, and for my money, the blue cheese that's called Danish Blue. Danish Blue is by far the best blue cheese. It's creamy. It has a real great bite to it. It's a very, very good quality blue cheese. And that's something that, of course, you can use on a salad. We have to watch our calories with salads, of course. You can, my goodness, you can, that's another topic, how salads, aren't necessarily the lowest calorie either. But, you can have candied pecans and all that stuff. But in terms of dressing, a blue cheese is one of my favorites. And now I'm seeing at my farmer's market that there are lots of different olive oils. There's the blood orange olive oil. There's the peach olive oil. There's the basil olive oil. And I think that's very, very interesting. And it's a trend that I'm just starting to see too. And I wonder if you have seen this too. And please comment and in the stream after the fact, and give us your experiences too. I'm saying, Chef, that I have seen recently olive oils such as blood orange and peach at my farmer's market, and basil and other flavored olive oils I see coming on the market. Have you seen that?
Absolutely. Yeah, I even have you'll see the same thing with vinegars too. and balsamics. Like I have a coffee balsamic in the cabinet, and we have a I don't know if it's tangerine, but it's an orange balsamic. So they're infusing these, and there's a lot of places you can go to now where you taste them, and you can sample them, and you buy little bottles of them, and that's trending. That's starting to be a little trendy thing with oils and with vinegars, and then they bottle up whatever you want. They have the spigot, and they pour it for you. And the thing to remember with olive oils when you're tasting it, treat it kind of like a wine. First thing you want to do is you want to warm it up a little bit in your hand. So if they give you a cup, get some body heat, right, to warm it up a little bit. And then when you breathe it in, same thing you would with a wine. Breathe it, get the smell, and then pull it into your mouth and get the flavors from olive oil. So it's going to taste the same way. I've actually gone to some olive oil tastings.
Oh, yes, I did one too. I went to one too. Very, very enlightening. So what do you have there?
Okay, so this did separate just a little, but I am going to just mix it together.
Okay, so it's repairable.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So, you know, it just becomes a separating dressing. So now, I mean, I have all the ingredients in there, and I'm going to add a little sea salt and black pepper, and then I'm going to add what really makes this the dressing that we love is a little chopped basil.
Nice.
Okay.
Nice. Very flavorful.
Oh, it is. And like I said, it's colorful. It looks good. It's easy to make. I'm trying to find it right.
There we go.
Yep.
Nice. That looks great.
It's very nice. And a little vinegar. I forgot the vinegar.
That's unexpected. I did not expect the basil.
Well, that's really what adds that really nice kind of flavor to it. And the vinegar. And what I did was I usually use all red wine vinegar, or if I replace maybe a teaspoon with balsamic. I don't want to use all balsamic because it's going to be a little too bold. Even when you get a balsamic dressing, more chances are not, it's not all balsamic because the flavor would just be a little bit too strong for you. But anyway, that's my favorite dressing. It's easy to make, and give it a try. Like I said, if it doesn't thicken up for you, that's no harm, no foul.
Yeah.
You just want to mix it up a little before you serve it.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so now what's next?
Okay, now we want to talk about composing a salad, and we want to talk about making the salad interesting. Now, I have a lot of things here, and we're not necessarily going to use them all, but I wanted to talk a little bit about them. Now, when you lay a base for a salad, and we're going to get to that after I just show you this ingredient and a couple things, is we want to have some crunch. There are 4 components to a salad that are important.
Oh, wow, I'm intimidated now.
Okay. Well,
I
no,
didn't
you shouldn't be.
that.
You shouldn't be because they're not strange components, or they're not any kind of components that you may not have on hand. It's just when I make a salad and I want it to be seasonal, I just go with whatever I'm using for the season. Now, the 4 components for the salad would be the base. And for me, the base is going to be the greens, whatever kind of greens you're using. And the important part about the greens is getting some color into them, getting some variety into them. If you want to use all of one type, that's okay. Just try and add a little bit more color into the rest of the ingredients, like the other components of your base. And the components for the base would be something crunchy. It's like cucumber, celery, carrots. I have some Brussels sprouts here, some corn. So something on the crunchy side.
Green pepper, green or red peppers.
Yep. Anything that you happen to like. Onion, you know, anything else that you happen to like. So you're building your base. And your base will be the few little vegetables that you put in along with your greens. So that's your base salad, and that's generally, other than tomatoes, where everybody stops. Okay, and that's what's the difference between enjoying your salad dressing or enjoying your salad. Okay, because, I mean, think about it. When you're eating your salad, what's the flavor that's really grabbing you? It's not the salad, it's the dressing.
That's true.
Okay, so we've created a bland salad because now we know we're supposed to eat greens. We want greens. We like salad. It's just that we've overcome the flavors of it by putting this really heavy dressing on it, and because the dressing becomes the star. So now we want to step back a little bit and let's make the salad the star. Now, if that's just a starter, or in a European meal, it will be when you're done. If it was when you're done, then maybe you just want a plain little small salad. And in that case, it's going to be a small salad. It's not going to be a dinner salad. And remember that. It's an accompaniment. If it's to end a meal or just to get the taste buds, in America we eat it before.
Yes.
Portuguese told me they eat it with. They eat their salad with the whole course. So depending on what it is, if it's an accompaniment salad, keep it an accompaniment size. It's just, again, a small salad. It doesn't have to be overwhelming. All right, but now you want to add some interest into it. So I say now that you've got your base, there's 3 components that every good salad should have. Okay? 1 is cheese. It can be any cheese you want. 2 is fruit. And it can be any fruit that you want, seasonal fruit. And 3 are nuts or seeds.
Okay.
So those are your 3 components that are going to take your salad from being just, uneventful to being very tasty. And
do you mean to use those every time, or use one of those 3?
Nope, I would put all 3 when I throw a salad together. And and I don't. It's not like I'm crafting a masterpiece. I'll start with a big bowl of greens like this, and then I'll add in some spring mix. Okay, or if you want to use all arugula, if you want to use a mix, they have this super green mix of greens and spinach and different other things, but we want to get some color in here. Now, I would never say to eat all of just spring mix or greens because they're very light and you still need some crunch. Now, this is romaine I have in here with my spring mix. You can use iceberg. I really don't recommend iceberg for salads because there's really no nutrients in it. It's great for sandwiches, but unless you're doing like an iceberg wedge salad.
Oh, I love that.
But, for the most part, I would stay with romaine for salads. And then some nice greens. And you really, if you look in the grocery store, they have a lot of organic options with nice baby greens, baby kale, baby arugula,
spinach. Baby spinach is great.
You can get a mix of spinach and field greens, so it gives it a little more oomph. But still, you need some crunch, and romaine or iceberg are really the ones that give you the crunch when you're using it. So that's done. So that's going to be my base. But then we want to add on to other ingredients, and then make them a little interesting. When I do carrots, there's my peeler. I will generally shred carrots on towards the end, and when I do them, I'm just using the peeler, okay? And I'm just going to shred a bunch of carrots on like this, because now I have some long strings. They look a little different, all right? If you don't want to do that, you can always use a grater, and then you're going to have more of a smaller look, grated look. But if you want to add a little pile of carrots on that has a little more personality, you can grate them.
Yeah, it looks elegant that way. I like the first way. It looks more elegant. It's a different, you have the color and the texture.
And if you want if you want more crunch, just cut them a little bit on a diagonal. If say you really, really like carrots and you want this to be the star of this, you can still, if they're small enough, you can still put them on like that. But it's interest. Okay, we're having fun with our food. We're not just eating it, and we're making food more interesting, so we're going to enjoy it. And there's going to be a little bit of a story to tell. With cucumbers, when you add cucumbers, you want to peel it down for the most part. So you don't have the skin is what really gives you all the problems, the burping and everything. So you can do a cucumber a couple ways. You can either cut it, again, on a thin diagonal, and if you're going to decorate with it, you're going to have slices that you can use. If you want them to be more functional and eat well, then maybe you just want to dice them up a little bit. So now they're in bite-sized pieces. It may not look as pretty, but it's going to be nice and easy to eat, and it's going to blend in. So these are things you want to think about when you're putting a salad together.
Well, that's a good point that you bring up, Chef, because I am wondering about the size and proportion of different parts of this salad. Should they all be small, bite-sized pieces?
Pretty much. You don't want people to work at the salad. You want them to eat the salad and enjoy it. You don't want to have to take a knife and a fork to it, really, if you don't have to. You want everything to be kind of ready to eat and ready to just blend it together so you can mix it together a little bit. And and then that's the other part of the question too, is whether you pre-dress the salad or you give them the dressing on the side too. And depending when they're going to eat it. If they're going to eat it fairly quickly, pre-dressing is not a bad idea.
Yeah, and you know what else you can do? You could always do that. Do a chopped salad where everything is chopped to the same. And I like that a lot. It's a taste, consistent taste sensation, sort of.
Yeah, and again, you eat with your eyes, so sometimes shapes are interesting too. And that's generally why I cut shapes, is because you want to have some variation. But an all chopped salad's a wonderful thing. And you can just really get into that, and it's more of a robust eating experience, a chopped salad to me. So I like those too. But now we're going to get to building a salad. All right. So this is going to be, for sake of, this is a little big, but this is still going to be an accompaniment salad. So we're just going to start with a base. So sometimes a nice thing to do is to build your base up a little bit, and just to make it high. All right, if you're serving, a fancier dinner, and you want people to be a little bit more amazed, like I've seen them use molds for it when they're doing it. Okay. So now that we have this, now we want to add our ingredients. Now, I'll show you another way as soon as we get done with this, but if we're using our components, well, first we're going to add a little cucumber to it, and maybe I want to make this more of a decorative salad, so I'm going to place them on the side. All right, I'm going to add a couple tomatoes to it, and they're going to go in another corner. All right, now we talked about the different components. One was cheese, so I'm going to put a little bit of, this is gorgonzola, on top.
I love that. That's really looking so artistic.
Okay, and then I'm going to put a few pistachios on top. And now I'm going to take my fruit, which are nectarines. Okay?
Wow.
So now I have really plenty on the salad, because now I'm going to mix it together when I go to eat it. Right, now it's going to become, let's say I wanted to go I want to add just a little bit more flair to it. I have some Brussels sprouts here. And I'm just going to shave with a grater.
Oh, what a taste that will add to it.
Okay, so now, not a lot, but these are raw Brussels sprouts, and you can see how they've, this way, how they've also helped the plate.
Yeah, so that will add sort of a nutty taste, right?
Yes.
Yeah, interesting.
Okay. So now I would just drizzle the dressing over top of it, or if you had a balsamic reduction, a really good aged balsamic, that's now the time to add that in too, because that'll help with the plate, help make the plate pretty. All right.
That looks great. I haven't thought about putting the different parts of the salad around the greens, and I mean that's really very, very creative to do the greens in a mound and to do just what you described. It changes every day cooking.
Now you'll notice too that I have 3 items surrounding it. It's an odd number, and odd numbers seem to have better eye appeal.
You're right, and in design as well. That is absolutely a design fundamental.
So if you were wondering why there wasn't anything in the other corner, that's why. So it's a balance. And sometimes if things are too symmetrical, your eye just kind of forms a circle. You need a starting and stop place. So this gives you that by just using 3. And that's one of the reasons, one of the few times I'll use a square plate too is on a salad. I'm not real fond of square plates, but I like them on appetizers and salads. Okay? So now, let's get back to this, and let's say I was making a salad just for everyone to eat and enjoy. All right, and I'm going to make it in a bowl. And let me get a smaller bowl so it doesn't look, because this will be like, say this is going to the table, and I'm going to do this family style. All right, So now I'm going to add some different ingredients. And sometimes I like, well, one of the things that Lisa likes and I really enjoy is chopped celery, because it gives you crunch and it gives you a little bit of bitterness to it when you're eating it. So I like using that. And then we're going to add some more cucumbers in here. And you notice I'm not going to toss this. I'm just going to add all my ingredients into it, and I'm going to use all these different carrots because I can. And add the flavor in.
So lots of texture.
Oh yeah. We're going to add our tomatoes in, and this is one of the things I like to add here is olives. Green olives go really, really good in a salad. Okay, if you wanted to put a little more, you know, again, the Brussels sprout, and this is going to be like a heavy-duty vegetable salad.
I see that.
All right, so now I have a little sweet corn.
Well, you know, when you say olives, I think feta cheese.
Absolutely. So this one, I'm going to leave these kind of nuts out because I don't think they'll really go. If I had some pine nuts or some walnuts, I would probably add them in. And this is, you know, there's rules are always made to be broken. This is a really crunchier vegetable salad, so it's okay to leave some of the components out. When I'm making a side salad, that's when I try to keep all those components in. But you'll notice I have a lot of I have a lot of color, I have a lot of textures, and fresh vegetables in this.
Now, what about what has been in salads forever, at least in our lifetime, is bacon bits? Does anyone put bacon bits in salad anymore?
I hope not.
But who doesn't love bacon?
Bacon, yes. Bacon bits, no.
Oh no, you're right about that. You're right about that.
Real bacon. We were on the bacon bit bandwagon for a while. Now I'll tell you, if you want to try something different, is if you want to crisp up some prosciutto, that's a wonderful complement instead of the bacon bits. If you want to fry, you know, you can either oil it and put it in the oven and fry it, or pan fry it a little bit and let it get crispy. That's a real nice substitute for bacon. But no, bacon's a wonderful thing. When I think of bacon in salads, I think of Cobb salads.
That's true. That's true. And I have to qualify it. Never in my life did I buy the jarred fake bacon, but never bought fake. You
know, it's the same thing with croutons. For years, you know, we thought we would buy those little boxes of croutons. You know, what happened, I think, was that one Thanksgiving they had too many bags of stuffing and they needed to do something with it, so they started selling croutons for salads. But, you know, those have gone by the wayside.
They really have.
Except for Caesar. Caesar's and then you should make your own if you can, or buy some rustic-looking croutons. But anyway, you know, if you're going to have an enjoyable salad at home, this is and you know, you can throw some blueberries in here. You could throw some apple bits. I think even, Chick-fil-A has a salad with, blueberries and apples or something? I mean, everybody's getting wise to the additions of the salad.
And you know what, Panera? Do you know the chain Panera? I love Panera. They have an apple, very thinly, super thinly sliced apple in one of their salads. Sesame noodles in their salads. A lot of interesting things.
And I just threw a little more cheese on mine because we love cheese. And cheddar is a great cheese to use too. Okay, so you can see how colorful and how
it is.
Now, really, you know, if it was a dinner salad, this could a little bit more lettuce base and maybe a few more vegetables, and this would be plenty to throw some grilled shrimp on top of, which is what I'm going to do tonight, or to throw some grilled chicken on it. If you want to forget about the meat, you know, maybe just put a little more cheese into it if you like, or some egg, or, you know, hard-boiled egg, hard-cooked egg.
Oh, yeah. So there's more to life than chicken Caesar salad.
Yeah, and granted, chicken Caesar salad is good, but, you know, there's more to life than that, or shrimp Caesar salad. You know, if you have a good favorite dressing, you know, I'm not telling you not to use it. You know, I hate to tell you what my favorite dressing of all time is. Well, I love blue cheese, but I love Catalina. Catalina is probably...
Catalina? What is Catalina?
That red French. It's a red French dressing.
Oh, you're kidding!
No. You give me Catalina dressing and some sharp cheddar cheese, and I am a happy. You can put it on anything. I will. But,
Okay.
but I mean, that just happens. I mean, I have some odd tastes. I grew up eating, and chefs generally will eat bizarre things that you wouldn't think we would eat. We won't feed it to our customers,
Right.
but we'll eat it, and that's one of my favorites. But
That's funny you say that, because that's like kitchen designers. We do the same type of, the client wants what's on trend or whatever, and then when it comes to our own, what we really like personally, it's usually far outside the mainstream. So
oh, yeah.
I get that.
I mean, for the most part, I would eat plain pasta every night. That was it. That was all I wanted. So, depending upon flavors and tastes. But for an experience and to teach someone who isn't always around, it's just like the carpenter's family. Their house always needs repair.
Oh yes.
Same thing. So, unless you're working with food, it's easier for me to tell you what to do to enjoy it, because this is how I make people happy. So, this is appealing to me. It's beautiful. It's got so many nice colors and textures in it. I love the corn. The corn has been phenomenal this time of year. Even down in Florida, we really are enjoying the heck out of the corn. And this, I took it off the husk, and I just actually steamed it a little bit, just to get a little of the rawness out.
Oh, okay. Good idea. That's great.
Well,
yeah, you do. You have a lot of texture. You have texture. You have color, like you say. You have different tastes in the Brussels sprouts and the cheese, and it makes things interesting. And it doesn't take much more effort.
Not really. And use up. I mean, when you're making a salad too, look in the refrigerator. See what you have. Like, we have some Italian meats left over that I got from we wanted Italian sandwiches. Well, strip it up and throw it in and make a little bit of an Italian meat salad if you have it. If you've got asparagus laying around, or broccoli laying around, or cauliflower, or anything else that you personally enjoy eating, put that in your salad. Make it a little more interesting. Liven it up, and then don't make the dressing the star of the salad. And then at this point, you might want to try, like, if you have a good olive oil, use a little good olive oil and some nice balsamic vinegar on it, and really get the flavors from everything.
That makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Good. Lots of good tips.
Well, that's it. So my whole thought on this was, salads don't need to be maligned and be boring and be the last thing you think of. Are we having a salad? And I tell you one thing too is, I just don't always want to think about making a salad. So a lot of times I will make the size bowl you saw, or even bigger, and all this is going to hold up for 2 days. Nothing here is really going to go south on you. One of the things I'll tell you to stay away from is some of that pre-cut lettuce, if you can.
Okay.
I don't mind the field greens. Well, they're not pre-cut. They're just baby stuff. But when you get those bags of, like, pre-cut romaine and pre-cuts, they put some stabilizer, something in them so they don't turn brown.
Ah.
And that just is going to affect your taste, affect your taste buds, and it's going to be expensive. So, I got these heads, and I buy romaine heads. Hearts. I never buy full heads anymore because you have so much waste. But they sell, a pack of 3 hearts. That's good for, if you have a small box of a spring mix, not one. I bought a big one, but if you have a small one and a bag of 3 hearts, you can eat salad, for 3 or 4 days that way. But if you make up enough for 2 days, and then the next day you don't have to go into. Maybe you leave the fruit out, something like that, or add that on at the last minute. Like, strawberries would even be good in a salad. Strawberries, blueberries, anything. I wouldn't put bananas in it, but people love grapes in salads.
But you know what, too? I like the idea of, usually when people think of one dish meals, they don't think of salads. Mm-hmm. Now, this is a great way to get a whole bunch of vegetables and really eat in a healthy way, and then have the meat part be sort of secondary.
Yeah.
So I really like that. I like that idea.
And one thing to think of too when you're building a salad is to build it in sections. Now, granted, I don't have it here, but when you're topping a salad, picture. Say this is the base of greens. Say you have your field of greens here. Then what you want to do is you want to start building components to it.
Oh, good idea. Wow. Love, love. Now, see, that makes people want to eat salad.
Right. So, and then break your colors up. Don't put all whites next to each other. But anyway, so you have your greens, so you run lines of all your ingredients on them.
Love it.
You know, if you wanted to put shrimp or chicken, then you could put it on the edge and you could slice it so it looks pretty. So think about textures, think about color, and think about how you're going to style it.
Styling. Love it.
It really isn't going to take you that much longer to put it on that way.
No, that's true. That's true.
And the cheese, you can buy crumbles already done for you. If you like cheddar, if you like Swiss, you know, buy the shredded. That's fine. Buy the little bags of shredded. Make your life easy, but add some flavor to your salads. That's all.
Good. So great tips as usual. You know, we covered a lot of territory here besides side salads and you know, the creativity of it and building it and one dish salads.
Absolutely. Great. Yep. It's not just what do we have? Sizzler?
It's not just greens. It's not just greens and tomatoes.
That's it. That's it. Those days are long behind us. So enjoy life and enjoy what you eat, and you'll be much happier about it. So that's all I have for today. And next week, though, I will tell you now, we talked about it. We are going to be doing a steak, my version of Steak Diane. So I hope you'll be around for that. So. Okay. So see you next week, everyone. All right. Thanks for coming. Thanks again, Chef. We'll see you around the kitchen table.